Welcome back. I'm sorry. I don't know why. Whenever I come streaming, the network always behaves madly. I just don't understand that. Absolutely don't understand that. But anyway, we are back. But anyway, yeah, we are back, and City have kicked it off. I would actually love to see. I would love to see. Let us see the scores as well of all the other teams. Yes, there's some very important matches today, but I'm just looking at the position of I'm just looking at the positioning of Phil Foden there. Let's see where Phil Foden's playing. Actually, I'm a bit behind or something. Let me see. Yeah. Now we are back, and it's a pass. You see Foden's going there, and look at the shot from Phil Foden. Phil Foden scores. It's 1-0 City. Come on, City. Phil Foden scores it. What a strike. Phil Foden's come back to his goal scoring form. Wow, the corner from Phil Foden. And Phil Foden scores. Phil Foden scores. No, I just missed it. I just missed it. I was a bit behind, and due to the network being disconnected. But yeah, Phil Foden scores, and what a strike from Phil Foden, playing in between the lines. Sparta Praha have been good in the starting few minutes. The start has been extremely bright. The start has been really good, extremely bright. But Phil Foden, they're in between the lines, taking the shot. That's where we were, lacking against Wolves. Against Wolves, yes, we were vulnerable to the counter attacks, but Wolves parked the bus almost 10 men behind the ball, and and we had no player who could go in between the lines and then shoot. Phil Foden, there are only few players in the world who can go in between the lines and they can take shots, control the ball in tight congested areas, and Phil Foden's one. His half turn is just the best in the world. I cannot see another player who I just cannot see another player who takes the ball on the half turn like that. Bayaji says Bayaji is here. Hey Bayaji, how are you doing? Bayaji says Bernardo is captain. That Kyle Walker is not captain Bayaji. But but you know what, Bayaji, yesterday against Dortmund, I just saw the highlights of what Vinicius Junior did, scoring 3 goals and what in that second half. It was just, just thinking, how can you even defend against this guy? And I was like, wow, Walker did a fantastic job against him. I think we need Walker, how much ever we say. We can complain about Walker. I think in the second half of the season, we of course need Kyle Walker. It's interesting. Matthews Nunes is actually playing on the left hand side. He's playing as a left winger. I don't know what you think of I don't know what you think of Matthews Nunes on the left wing, Bayaji. Because I thought Matthews Nunes could be an answer to missing Rodri. Matthews Nunes, I thought, has the physicality to, play in that midfield end and share, the job that Rodri did along with Kovacic. I think Kovacic, Matthews Nunes, and Foden, for example, would be a great, midfield three, or Kovacic, Gundogan, and or Nunes, Gundogan, and Foden. But I don't know. Perhaps clearly playing Matthews Nunes on the left wing. Just don't know what is seen in him. Bayaji says sniper is back finally, and how we needed the sniper, Bayaji. I think I think if Foden started against Newcastle, we would have won that game easily. Newcastle are just crap. For example, I think we really missed Foden in the first 5 6 games of this season. Gundogan, seems like Gundogan's holding on his own today. John Stones, Savinho goes outside. Savinho, and there's a chance of Foden to shoot. Foden passed it off to Gundogan. There was a chance of Foden to shoot there. I don't know what you guys feel. Barcelona have already scored against Bayern Munich. This will be absolutely damaging for Bayern Munich, to be honest, because Bayern have already lost against Aston Villa. They cannot lose today against Barcelona. That will be interesting. It would be great, for example, if Liverpool lose today or have a draw today. But Matthews Nunes. So I'm just thinking, how is Pep thinking along the lines in solving this midfield dilemma? What is he actually thinking about? Does he want to play John Stones there? How does he want to solve that dilemma? I'm not understanding, because clearly he wants Matthews Nunes to play out wide rather than in midfield. Sparta Praha on a break here, and Natanake has to defend the break. We have to keep a clean sheet here today, guys. Well done, Natanake. That is great defending from Natanake. The big advantage of Natanake being in there is Nathan is a very old school traditional defender. Is good on the ball, of course. Old school doesn't mean he's trash, but Natanake is absolutely fantastic in terms of holding up to his man, in terms of putting in that hard-blooded challenges. So with Nathan, I think you're going to get a lot more stability along that back line, because people don't realize it, but Ruben Diaz and Kyle Walker are the two defenders who have been terribly out of form. And we have seen against Wolves, without Manuel Akanji, we have just looked like absolute shit. There's no pace in that back line. Countainia is here. Hey, Countainia, how are you doing? Countainia says Foden is having a good week. Hope this season takes off from here. It needs to take off, Countainia. There's no other alternative for us. It needs to take off. Otherwise, teams are parking the bus, and how do you break that? How do you break that structure? Phil Foden's the answer. Phil Foden was the answer last season. Phil Foden's the answer now. Bernardo Silva, Manuel Akanji, Matthews Nunes. I'm just looking to get into Pep's mind in terms of how is Matthews Nunes being preferred out wide rather than in the midfield. I'm just looking to have a glimpse into Pep's mind, and I'm not able to. Oh, what a header from Erling Haaland, and what a save from the Sparta Praha goalkeeper. What a header from Erling Haaland. Just see that header, and it's fantastic. It's one of the best headers you'll actually see. Wow. What a header from Erling Haaland over there. And what a save to the keeper by the keeper as well. What a save by the keeper. What a save. So I'm just looking to get a glimpse into Pep's mind, and sadly I just cannot understand how he thinks Matthews Nunes. The corners again very good. Ikai Gundogan. That is a fantastic ball by Rico Lewis, I think. Ikai Gundogan there. Cannot get to the ball. I don't know why they always put bloody Rico Lewis in terms of, that shadow cover for a corner. Put someone with a little bit more height, because when the ball bounces awkwardly, suddenly the attackers are bearing down on you. Becomes a little awkward for Rico Lewis. John Stones. So it's almost John Stones playing as a two with Gundogan. Bernardo Silva. With the corners, it's interesting because I think a few months ago, might be even a year ago, when Pep was asked in a press conference, you know, why do City take such bad set pieces? He was actually asked what is the secret to taking good corners. Pep emphasized that the taker corner always depends on the taker. I, I mean, I didn't. look into it that much. But now looking at John Stones, what a ball by John Stones there. What a ball by John Stones. But actually now looking back at it, I mean you see Arsenal struggling at corners so much without Saka. I think it's on the taker. Saka's in swinging delivery is so good that I think the corners without Saka and with Saka are just day and night to be honest. John Stones, Savinho, Savinho going on the outside. Savinho just tries to do too much. Rico Lewis with the throw in. What a dream Rico Lewis is living. Permanent right back for City, and he's absolutely deserved it as well. Rico Lewis, John Stones, Sabinho has to put the ball in. He's put the ball in. Rico Lewis, Gundogan, John Stones, Sabinho again has to cross the ball in. Doesn't he opts to go to Manuel Akanji, Nathan Ake, Manuel Akanji again, Edison, John Stones, Rico Lewis. I think there's space in there for Sabinho. I think Rico Lewis can play Sabinho and Sabinho there. Sabinho to John Stones. That's good defensive work. That's great defensive work, in fact, from Phil Foden, to be honest. Atletico Madrid are leading 1-0 against Lille. This is interesting because Lille defeated Real Madrid. I mean, the results are just cracking up. Benfica losing to Feyenoord. I know it's just early days, but young boys in Inter is a level. Matthews Nunes coming inside. Manuel Akanji. John Stones goes on the outside to Sabine. I think Sabine has to cross the ball in from this range. He cannot dribble, give the opposition time to set up and then cross the ball in. He has to put that early cross in. One thing from Sabine I've noticed is not putting that early cross in. He has to put that early cross in. John Stones, Savinho there. Man, Nathanake does absolutely well. Nathanake was sold down the river. I think it was by Ikai Gundogan. Gundo is just off it this season. He's not yet come into his own. That the good thing about that is without Gundo coming in onto his own, we have made a fantastic start to the season, which you don't make generally. I just want him to come back into form as soon as possible. To be honest, Phil Foden, Rico Lewis. That the ball was on. The ball was on. Phil Foden's make a run. JSK is here. Hey JSK, how are you doing? You should be very happy, JSK. Your man Stefan Ortega is starting. Ikai Gundogan, John Stones, Gundogan again. I'm just worried a bit about Gundo's form. Nathan Ake. I think with Ake just being in there, the difference. I don't know why the difference is. The defense just looks so solid. I would maybe want both Ake and Guardiola in the team. Then how that would translate, I don't know. I don't know. Somehow having Ake in the team, it just makes me feel that bit more secure in defense. Guardiola is a wonderful defender, I know, but I don't know why having Ake in the team just makes me feel secure. This is a great spell of possession. Savinho there, John Stones. Manuel Akanji. Exactly, Bayaji, exactly. Why Rico didn't play over the top ball to Foden who made a run? Exactly, exactly. That's what even I was thinking. Exactly, perfect. I don't know why and Rico looked up as well and he didn't want to play the ball. I don't know. I don't know. Sparta Praha is breaking through and we had it covered. I mean, I haven't seen Rico play that ball over the top. I think Rico is more confident in playing that line splitting passes than that. Maybe that could have been the reason, but if there was a day to experiment something, then this is the day. JSK says Borussia Dortmund is the biggest disgrace in football. As I saw it. I saw it. JSK yesterday 2-0 up at the Bernabeu. They had a chance to make it 3-0 at half time. Sorry, just after half time. This couldn't. And then, but if I saw some of their goals, especially Vinicius Junior, the way he scored at least two of his goals, the way Lucas Vasquez scored a goal, that Antonio Rudiger header, especially Vinicius Junior and the way he played. I'm like, yes, this is it's fantastic being played. I was that's a good ball by Manuel Akanji over the top. Phil Foden, Erling Haaland. Phil Foden, Phil has to. There was a chance to strike the ball there. Phil Foden missed it. Nothing. Okay, we still have the ball. Nothing gives it to Matthews. What a ball by Matthews. It's too close to the keeper, but Matthews Nunes had shaped it well. Just that it was too close to the keeper. But Nunes was excellent again there. A Sparta Praha player is down, so the referee stops play. But yeah, just Vinicius Junior was just fantastic. I think. Looking at him, I'm like, we need Walker if we draw Madrid in the later stages. No one else is gonna deal with Vinicius Junior in that kind of a form. We absolutely need Kyle Walker. I think the last ball of Dortmund, Vinicius Junior picked up the ball in his own half and then drove through the entire defense and the finishing was superb. I'm like, Doku needs to be on that level of finishing what Vinny Junior is doing. Because Vinny Junior, when he arrived at Real Madrid early on, was where Doku is now. Erratic in finishing, decision making was not good. Vinny Junior in his first 2 years at Madrid was crap. And I always feel Doku's potential is more than Vinicius Junior. So I mean you can just imagine how high of a potential Jeremy Doku has. JS says and why is Pep starting Gundogan despite giving stinker over stinker? Partly I think JSK lack of options. I think if you play Kovacic Pep needs to protect Kovacic. The first thing is so Pep cannot start Kovacic game after game after game because Kovacic's injury record is not exactly superb. So Pep needs to protect Kovacic. So once you're protecting Kovacic, what other option do you have in that midfield? Rodri is injured. Sparta Praha have been defending well. Bernardo Silva, Matthews Nunes. I think lack of options just it's just simple. I mean, keep Kovacic aside. You can't start. Kovacic is not in a position to play 3 games in a week. He will get injured. We know his injury record. So who else do you play in that midfield position? Bernardo can't hold. Matt clearly doesn't trust Matthews Nunes to hold the midfield. Do you play John Stones in that midfield? Maybe not. Because again, is John Stones ready to go through so much of hectic work in the midfield because we know his injury record. At centre back, it's a bit more relaxed. That's a great ball. Rico Lewis, Erling Haaland gets up. Ah, again, I think they're giving Erling Haaland heading practice. Just because Guardiola can play Ake left back, again, Jeske, I think Guardiola has played every match, so I think he clearly feels that he needs to rest Josko Guardiola. Guardiola has played every single match, I think. So I think playing Guardiola there is not an option. So I mean, to be fair to Pep, I think the midfield resources. To be honest, I think it's just Kovacic and Gundo who can play that role. Because clearly he doesn't feel John Stones is fit enough to go through the work. And clearly the Akanji experiment didn't work last season. And I think, and with Guardiola as well, I think Guardiola has not learned that position because we think Guardiola can play there, but you know how much of tactical information goes into Pep Guardiola CDM. So is Josko Guardiola ready for that? I do not think so. So I think he's left with no option than playing Ilkay Gundogan there. Bernardo Silva heavy pass. John Stones, Savinho, Ilkay Gundogan, Manuel Akanji. Bayaji says five first teamers are injured now. True, true, Bayaji. Kevin De Bruyne, Oscar Bob. Oscar Bob is a first teamer. Say Kyle Walker, Rodri. That's a great ball, Matthews Nunes. Ah, what a run by Matthews Nunes. That run by Matthews Nunes is just superb. I actually thought he'll start Jack Grealish, but he's not starting Jack Grealish. Because Grealish looked wonderful against Wolves. He looked very bright against Wolves when he came on. So I thought he would start Jack Grealish. Ilkay Gundogan with the corner and get ready for Ilkay Gundogan's trap corners. Bayaji says Nico or McAtee should have started this game. If not here, then when? 4 to 5 minutes of injury time, not enough. Exactly, Bayaji. At least Nico, if McAtee, I can understand why he's not starting McAtee. McAtee will come in the 70th minute. There's no space for McAtee. But I think Nico O'Reilly should have actually started. Nico O'Reilly, you should have tested him in that CDM role. You're absolutely right. If not now, when? Because you look at the Carabao Cup, suddenly due to the new rules, I think which came from last year, the Carabao Cup draws are becoming difficult and difficult. From the early rounds itself, Spurs away, I do not think you can start Nico O'Reilly in that match. You are right. If not now, when? When will he start Nico O'Reilly? And McAtee looks superb in small spaces, but again, McAtee I can understand in whose space will you start. That competition for McAtee is just insane. Maybe I think McAtee, I think Nunes is the only place I can see where he can start McAtee. And what a header by Erling Haaland. The goalkeeper I think is just. And Sparta Praha is away on the break. Sparta Praha is away on the break. Matthews Nunes runs back to defend it. And good save by Stefan Ortega. He definitely got a fingertip to it. डेफिनेटली गॉट अ फिंगर टिप टू इट बट ऐसे ऐसे कब तक चलेगा यार कब तक चलेगा एक और कॉर्नर और स्पार्टा प्राहा को भी अब मिल रहा है चांसेस कॉर्नर पे फॉर हाउ लॉन्ग विल यू ब्लडी डिफेंड लाइक दिस bloody every team is getting a chance to attack us on our own corners इससे अच्छा है कि रेफरी को बोल दो गोल किक ले ले हमें कॉर्नर नहीं चाहिए कितने बार कॉर्नर्स पे देंगे attacking opportunity for the other team. I just can't understand this. How can they break from our corner match after match after match? Does Pep Guardiola not want to see it? I don't absolutely understand this. Baiji says, shame old problem. I know it's not a typo by Aji. Same old problem. It's absolutely well put. Same old problem. I mean, in every match we have played this season, we have uh, we have conceded not one but at least two counter attacks from our own corners. I don't think there is a team in world football whose whose biggest defensive weakness is their own corners. ऐसा टीम कभी ना था और कभी एग्जिस्ट भी नहीं करेगा. Cardinal says City should bury those chances. 2 to 3 teams will end up on same points in this new format. So goal difference is going to be very important. Exactly. Cardinal. Haaland should have. Haaland had two headers. The first header was fantastic, and the goalkeeper made a great save. But yeah, this chance he should have absolutely buried it. Again, the same problem against Wolves as well. We created wonderful from Savinho there. The final ball just not there. Continuous is imagine ending up ninth instead of eighth because of a low goal difference. That will be crazy. I think as City, first of all, we should not be looking at you know the eighth spot. I think we should be looking at the top four minimum. I think if we do not finish in the top four in this Champions League table, I think I would be very unhappy. It would be mediocre. It would not be a good this thing, to be honest. It would not be a good thing for us. I would be very disappointed with it. I expect us to finish in the top four. I know there's a lot of competition. Bayern, Liverpool, Arsenal, Real Madrid, Barcelona. Juventus. I can easily name 8 teams without City who are very good in Europe, but I think we are one of the best teams in Europe. With Rodri, without Rodri, that's another debate, but the spirit is still there in us. We are one of the best teams in Europe, and Sparta Praha on an attack there. Both Rico Lewis and Phil Foden defending. Phil Foden gets the ball. I think it's a counter chance for Erling Haaland. JSK says Mohan about the manager. I think we need to convince Pep to stay one more year and go for Julian Nagelsmann after World Cup. David Ornstein actually put it out. I think 2 days back. David Ornstein said that as per my sources of information, Pep Guardiola is Pep Guardiola is likely to extend at City. That's what David Ornstein said. David Ornstein said that all of his sources point towards Pep Guardiola extending at City. So I think I'm a bit more confident, though I don't want to jinx it, but I'm a bit more confident that Pep Guardiola will extend for one more year. I think what everyone's telling is, it could of course change in the next one year, but what everyone's telling is the again a good set piece from Sparta Praha. We cannot take it like that. I don't know why. But what everyone's telling is there are two names that are coming out. Ruben Amorim and Michel of Girona. I think one out of these two names will be the manager. Will be a manager. That's what it's. That's what the names. That's what all of the talk is. I don't think we go for Julian Nagelsmann. I think Xabi Alonso has actually come out, but what I would like to think is Real Madrid, Carlo Ancelotti. I think is age is getting on him now. So I think Real Madrid will go for Xabi Alonso. Xabi Alonso will go to Real Madrid. I do not think he comes to City. So I think it's Michel and Ruben Amorim. I don't know what you guys think. Whom do you want as a manager? To be honest, JSK says Julian Nagelsmann is the only replacement of Pep. Uh, I think Michel will be very interesting, to be honest. Michel would be absolutely interesting. I think Michel is. In terms of the innovative tactics and stuff. I think both Ruben Amorim and Michel are close, but I think Michel is not far away in terms of innovating on tactics, staying in ahead of the opponents and stuff. But they say out of possession, the pressing structure and everything. I think the manager who plays closest to Pep is they say Ruben Amorim. Okay, they play different systems. Ruben Amorim plays three at the back and stuff. But I think out of possession, the structure and the way teams press and all. I think Ruben Amorim is close to Pep Guardiola. But in terms of attack, I think Michel's teams are close to what Pep Guardiola generally in his prime makes teams do because in Pep's prime, which I think is in that period, that Centurions period and stuff, where we played with Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, Sane, Sterling. Attacking, we were just Fernandinho, the only midfielder holding. Attackingly, we were just on another level. I think in Michel's team, especially Michel's Girona last season, I saw that Michel played at 1.3 cams. Can you imagine a manager playing 3 cams against a team like Barcelona and beating it? I think they say Michel plays football on the streets. His football is so out of the box. It's nothing more than it's nothing less than street football, which is entertaining, which is brave, which is courageous, which challenges the status quo, and I think that's the word I would keep in mind. Which manager would challenge the status quo? I think Michel and Ruben Amorim. Maybe I would go with Michel a bit more. I think, but yeah, Bayaji, like you said, goal difference will be interesting. Goal difference will be essential, but I think I expect us to finish in the top four. So that's why I'm not that bothered about the goal difference, to be honest. 33 minutes gone. The half has just almost flown by. Ikai Gundogan. Manuel Akanji. Gundogan's just become a bit more reserved. He's just not the same. That is again Rico Lewis, John Stones, Savinio Stones goes into the box. Savinio has to put the ball in. I don't know why Savinio's delaying putting the ball in. Phil Foden trying to play a 1-2 Sparta Praha break. It's a 3v3 at the back. John Stones comes back. Phil Foden comes back to help him out. And City defend it out well. Liverpool have taken the lead at Leipzig and it's 1-1 Barcelona Bayern Munich as well. JSK said who will be the right back next season? I maybe think selling Jan Kuto was a mistake, JSK. Selling Jan Kuto is a mistake. I don't know what Pep had in mind when selling him. Okay, we got 25 million pounds for him, but I mean the right back will be the signings that we do from this summer onwards. Okay, the scenario is Pep Guardiola is going to extend. That is Savinho, that's a great ball in. Phil Foden, what a strike from Sniper Foden. Little bit here and there to the goalkeeper, and that was 2-0 City. What a strike from Foden. He's just letting it rip. But Phil Foden, it's almost, it's almost when you're using a catapult, you pull it back with the stone and release it. That is what Phil Foden is doing it here. His shots are like catapult pull shots. That's a foul given outside the favor of Sabio. But yeah, the thing is, let us imagine the scenario where Pep Guardiola extends by a year. We've actually seen how the planning works. Okay, Mancini was sacked. That's a different thing. You cannot plan for a sacking. But when Pep Guardiola was coming, you almost knew a year earlier. So Manuel Pellegrini's signings in that season prior to Pep Guardiola came were all Pep Guardiola signings. De Bruyne, Raheem Sterling, they were all Pep Guardiola signings. I think in a similar way, I think even if Pep extends this summer, new sporting director, we have a new sporting director. I think City will not announce, but I think at the starting of this transfer window as well, this summer transfer window, I think City will have an idea of who the next manager is, and I think all our signings in the summer will be according to who the next manager is. For example, if Ruben Amorim is the next manager, that's a great ball, and Savinho needs to shoot and finish. It's just batted it wide, but what a wonderful piece of play there. Savinho and Rico Lewis, that is superb. That is superb there. Savinho and Rico Lewis, fantastic. Barcelona 2, Bayern Munich 1. Looks like that match is going end to end there. Pep Guardiola knows goals are important, like people said, goal difference is important. 1-0 is anything could happen. I mean, a draw in this game will be a disaster, to be honest. Drawing, we cannot afford to draw our home games or drop points in our home games. I know we drew against Inter at home, but that was because we didn't take our chances. But yeah, so just if the manager is Ruben Amorim, for example, then I think your right back would be Jeremy Frimpong because Amorim loves to play three at the back. The planning will be according to that because City's entire midfield is almost coming to an end. If you see Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, there's an entire midfield that needs to be replaced. To be honest, and maybe you need one or two additions to the back line as well. At least one more addition to the back line, the centre backs, apart from the full back region. So there's a major overhaul of the squad going on that needs to start from this summer. So it depends on who the manager is. If it's Michel loves to play 4-3-3, so you cannot bring in a wing back. So that is the thing. Savinho, Savinho gives it back to Manuel Akanji to Matthews Nunes. Ikai Gundogan again a stinker there. Sparta Praha are actually happy with 1-0 because they know at 1-0 they have a chance to, you know, go on in the second half, to be honest. City are not pressing as well. We're not pressing the goalkeeper today. I mean, there's no press to be honest today. I think it's just managing the energy. I think through the week. In a way, this had to be a relatively calm week to be honest because Wolves at Molineux where Wolves haven't won a game there, and then Sparta Praha at home, and then you have I think Southampton at home, if I'm not wrong. So, but it didn't turn out like that. Wolves was absolutely chaotic. We just got out of jail there because there were moments where I thought Wolves would score the second, and I was happy with the point. But we got two in the end, which I'm very grateful for. And Gundogan there almost trying to drive through. Akanji does fantastically well there. Keep the ball. Manuel Akanji 2-1 Barca leading 2-1 at Bayern. Athletic Madrid 1-0 at Lille. Benfica Feyenoord is interesting result. Benfica losing to Feyenoord. Manuel Akanji. Nathan Ake. There was a ball which Nunes could have slipped Bernardo Silva in, but it's not done it. Now it's done it. Bernardo Silva there. Nowhere Bernardo was playing the ball to. Maybe it was aimed towards Phil Foden. I just don't know. And speaking about right back, I think we will have tough competition for the top choices because Real Madrid are in the market for a right back next season. Danny Carvajal, I think after that injury it will be difficult for him. Anyways, age is 33, 34. So I think Madrid are in the market for a right back. Nunes is appealing for a handball. Nunes is appealing for a handball. I think they'll look at the penalty appeal. It's absolutely close proximity, I think. So I do not think that's a penalty, to be honest. Again, why is Gundogan taking the corners there? It's just so crap at it. That's actually a great corner. Savinho got it back to Phil Foden. Ah, that was a great opportunity for Foden. By his standards, Foden needs to at least test the goalkeeper from there. By his standards, Foden at least needs to test the goalkeeper from there. Pep is not happy. He knows 1-0 is not enough going into half time. At home against Sparta Praha, you would hope to be comfortable by half time. I know no match in the UCL is easy and stuff, but still. That is an excellent steal from Mikhail Gundogan, and Bernardo Silva is kind of running to traffic, but he plays well. I think this space out wide. Natarake can play it out wide. He chooses to go with Rico Lewis. Yes, he chooses the out wide option with Sabinho. Sabinho there. Sabinho is just trying to do too much, and it's a free kick for City. JSK's Nunes at wing is not working. Of course, JSK, the role of Nunes on the wing is to hold with. That's all. I think Pep has asked him only that, so it's difficult to judge. If I mean, he is doing what Pep has asked him, so I would blame it on Pep for doing it. It's almost that Matthews Nunes is out of the game. Matthews Nunes is thrown out of the game. He's just sacrificing himself for what Pep has asked him to do. Because I think you see Nunez is not even moving inside much. It's just holding the width. It's just holding the width. Could be a tactical ploy to maximize the space in between to break down the block. I don't know. Phil Ford in there. Again a crap set piece. It's 1 minute of added time. Again an absolutely crap set piece there. It would be very interesting if Barcelona Bayern match is a draw 2-2, 3-3 or whatever, because both have lost matches earlier on in Barcelona to Monaco and Bayern to Aston Villa. So I think there'll be more points chalked off from them. Look at Matthews Nunes there. He's absolutely just sacrificing himself for the team. Sometimes Bernardo is going wide, but it's generally Nunes. I'm like playing Nunes through the middle. I think he's more effective in there. Sabinho. Sabinho does absolutely well. John Stones. Stones again. And that's the end of the half. Pep Guardiola is not happy at all. Look at that. You can see from the reaction of Pep. He's absolutely not happy. Barcelona 3, Bayern Munich 1. There's already crisis looming at Bayern Munich there if you look at it. It's the second game in the Champions League they're losing after that loss to Aston Villa. But in this game, Pep Guardiola is not at all happy. Pep Guardiola is. He's just frustrated. He's just livid that we're not able to break the block. I think if you break, maybe think this is the game for Doku, to be honest. This is the game for Doku, to be honest. And Bernardo in the midfield. I mean, I don't know what you guys think of it, but Bernardo and Gundogan in the midfield is not at all working. Bernardo and Gundogan in the midfield is making us so much passive. I know Bernardo's gone out wide a bit this match, but generally Bernardo's been playing is been in the midfield in this match, and it's not at all working. Bernardo and Gundogan is just making us so passive, and I mean Savinho as well. I think with Savinho, don't you think Savinho is just being too much one dimensional? He gets the ball and is more often than not looking to cut inside on his left foot. And I know Mahrez did it. I know Arjen Robben used to do it, but I think Savinho is just doing it bit too much. There's no element of surprise in what Savinho is doing for me. It's so obvious when he picks up the ball what he wants to do. It's so obvious for even us looking on from here. So obvious what he wants to do. But I just never seen Pep so furious at halftime. Frustrated. It's the frustration. It's the same frustration that we are having by Aji. Pep is also having plenty of possession, even creating chances but not scoring. We should at least be 3-0 up with the kind of possession and the kind of areas we've gone into. Pep cannot put the ball in the back of the net, right? Pep has done what everything that he can do. So that is actually the frustration of Pep Guardiola more than anything else. That's my frustration. That's your frustration. That's the frustration of all City fans. And it's not the first match that we're frustrated. Wolves was the same frustration. Newcastle was the same frustration. Bloody Brighton is defeating Newcastle. Bloody Everton, I think, if I'm not wrong, were defeating Newcastle. Bloody Aston Villa, if I'm not wrong, defeating Newcastle. I mean, and we bloody draw with Newcastle. I don't understand that. So I think in most of the matches this season, this has been the against Fulham. It was the same frustration. Unable to break the low block. Haaland being marked out. Gundogan and Bernardo being absolutely useless and not effective. Savinho not able to do much. JSK says this year the transfer window ruined everything. I mean, I don't know, JSK. I mean, in the attacking midfield market, I think Words was not available. Musiala was not available. I think, and the attacking midfield market, there was no one available. I think the only one available was in the right back. This thing, but our major problems are not able to break down the low block. And why are we not able to break down the low block? I mean, do you guys remember when Rodri used to play? What Rodri used to do, especially with these low blocks? Rodri used to take the ball. Rodri used to switch. It was the switch from the CDM. It was actually the switch from the CDM to the player out wide, and the player out wide would put it into the box, or the switch from the CDM to another player arriving from the midfield into the box. He hits it down and Haaland scores. Those are the kind of goals you have seen, but no one's doing that now. Kovacic is not capable of that. Gundogan's not doing it anymore. I mean, how do you break down this low block is the question mark again. It's a question that is, bothered Pep from a long time since he's been in England, and every season is found ways to do that. But this season it seems as if he's again struggling to deal with that. You could say he's struggling due to lack of uh, Kevin De Bruyne. But even when De Bruyne wasn't there in the past seasons, we have won titles. So how do we unlock this low block? I know, and I know it's a very left field opinion from me, but I just think I know this will not happen, but I think this seems to be an obvious solution to that. You look at the Wolves game, 3-5-2, three centre backs are marking Haaland. In the Fulham game, there's a centre back always tied to Haaland, or two centre backs are marking Haaland. In most of the games, there are at least two centre backs marking Haaland or two players marking Haaland. I mean, if you play false nine, suddenly all your problems are solved. Suddenly, if teams park the bus, the centre backs do not have anyone to mark, and marking space is always not easy for the lower ranked teams. Or for most of the teams in world football, marking space is very tricky. So I think false nine and suddenly a lot of avenues open up. False nine is an option, but then what do you do with Erling Haaland? Because without Kevin De Bruyne, Erling Haaland's putting stinker after stinker after stinker. I mean, today, how many touches did Erling Haaland have in the box? Guys, how many touches did Erling Haaland have in the box today? Against Wolves, he had zero touches in the first half. Today, he had two touches. Both of them were two headers. That's all. Erling Haaland today had two touches in the entire half. So I think therein lies the problem. I think it's not the fault of Haaland, because if Haaland has to play, then Kevin De Bruyne needs to be there, or a creative outlet of that sort needs to be there. Foden's not a passer. He's not a passing creative outlet or something like that. So so I think Pep needs to look into it. Because suddenly, I know this was a problem we faced last season a bit as well, but suddenly with Erling Haaland in there and Erling Haaland not doing much, being marked out of the game, suddenly it's almost like a playing with a player less, and with false nine you'll have a player more in midfield, which will help you shore up the midfield, which will help you, protect against counter attacks and stuff. So it's going to be interesting in how Pep looks at this problem. JSK is acting like a fucking miser out of the out of the season into Geo party. More than acting like a miser, JSK, we thought we had it all, but whom would you have bought? That is the other question, because none of the attacking midfielders were available. A right back was where you could have maybe bought a right back again. That's the only thing I would say. But again, we bought Savinho in, and but again we bought Savinho in, and then I think we actually thought everything. And when Gundogan came, we thought everything was covered, because we know Gundogan can play in multiple positions, attacking midfield, EM, box to box, would be a false nine if needed. I think the Rodri injury was actually something which the Rodri injury and Ikai Gundogan throwing stinker after stinker is something which actually City didn't expect. I mean, the form of Gundogan is what City didn't expect, because suddenly you see Gundogan in very good form. Gundogan can play those passes to Erling Haaland. Suddenly Gundogan's not doing that. I don't know why. Absolutely don't know why Gundogan's not doing that. JSK says, I think it's time to trust McAtee, or else it will be a Palmer 2.0. Exactly, JSK. But in whose place will you play McAtee? That's another question. In whose place will you play McAtee? Because McAtee is an attacking midfielder or is a right winger. So there are two positions open for McAtee. Attacking midfield or right wing, for example. I think there's no space in the attacking midfield for James McAtee. I think right wing, could be something you could look at. And also, I think Oscar Bob getting injured is also a thing, to be honest. I think because I think going into the transfer window, Pep thought I have Oscar Bob, I have Savinho, Gundogan's coming back, I have enough, and he thought I'll trust Kyle Walker. So Pep, I think that this transfer window, we thought we had actually enough to carry us through this season. It's not working out that way. It's absolutely not working out that way. So we'll have to see how Pep comes out of this. But the good thing is, we have not had a terrible start to the season. Drop point. We are the only team unbeaten in the entire Premier League, probably in the entire Europe, and in the top five leagues at least. So the start to the season has not been terrible. Drop points at Newcastle and at Arsenal, and Arsenal felt like a victory. So only drop points at Newcastle and against Inter in the first match, which is fine. So I think the start has not been terrible. That's the only positive, if you could ask me. JSK's Silva, when Bernardo Silva's been crap, JSK that's another thing, to be honest. Yes, when Bernardo when Bernardo Silva's crap, but yeah, I mean I mean that's another thing. Gundogan's been crap, Bernardo Silva's been crap, and also the other thing is I'm thinking, can James McAtee be played in the position of Bernardo Silva? I mean in the place of Bernardo Silva, yeah, I'm thinking about that because his face is absolutely been crap and is throwing stinker after stinker. That's actually true. That's actually true, JSK. I think you could play James McAtee there in the place of Bernardo Silva. And the work rate of James McAtee is also good. But Gundogan, James McAtee, Phil Foden, it's impressive. And also, I mean that would be very courageous to play those three in a midfield. Gundogan, James McAtee, and Phil Foden. Think. But But yeah, you're right. He could do that. He could do that because anyway, Bernardo Silva's crap and James McAtee in those small tight spaces is very very good. James McAtee is absolutely superb in those small spaces. He could do that. To be honest, that's a great choice. But this is painful to see Bayern defense under one of the best Premier League defenders of all time. I mean, I've not looked at the highlights of this match, but I saw the highlights of the previous match actually. I saw Bayern versus Aston Villa example, and Villa could have scored at least two more goals. The Bayern defense, I mean, it's just too open. Maybe I think that's. I mean, what they're telling about companies playing really attacking at Bayern. So I think that is leaving his defenders open. But then I think Bayaji, even when you saw how Company played with Burnley, I think even then Burnley were also a bit open. Burnley weren't exactly a Sean Dyche kind of a team or something. They were possession based, open. They were open at the back and stuff. I think Company's style in itself is more towards. I mean, Company is the best one of the best PL defenders. I'd put him in the all-time list. But I think he's learned his trade from people like Pep Guardiola, observing people like Pep Guardiola. I think, and one of Pep Guardiola's biggest ideas of defending is defending large spaces. He trusts a defender on his own to defend large spaces, and so that most of the time leaves you open at the back. I think that's what Company is trying to do. But yeah, what I would like to see is Leipzig coming back against Liverpool and at least getting a draw, and then Barcelona. and Bayern Munich being a draw. To be honest, we're almost ready to kick off for the second half. By the way, guys, Arsenal Liverpool at the weekend. What would you what would you like the score to be? Especially keeping in perspective City in the title race. Would it be good to us if Arsenal lose or Liverpool lose or a draw? I mean, how big of a title threat do you see Liverpool as? I mean, do you see, the question is, do you see Arsenal as more of a bigger title threat or Liverpool as more of a bigger title threat? JSK says Arsenal win. Interesting. So, JSK, do you see Liverpool as more of a bigger title threat than Arsenal? Is it? Because I was just thinking about this question and I'm not come to a conclusion, so I thought I'll ask you guys, how are you guys feeling? So who do you see as a bigger title threat? JSK says, to be honest, I don't care about title this year, honestly. So JSK, you're on to the UCL, right? And I think we should have had two UCLs by now if Pep didn't have two of the best DMs in the world on the bench that day. Savinho there, Savinho does well. Gundogan tries it from range. JSK has just won the UCL, so we can get a Ballon d'Or winner. I mean, this year, I think I would be absolutely gutted, frustrated if Rodri doesn't win the Ballon d'Or, to be honest. I think Rodri deserves the Ballon d'Or, but I know they're going to give it to Vinicius Junior maybe. And City score again. It's Natanake. Natanake on his comeback. Natanake on his comeback scores. And we score from a set piece. Can you guys believe it? We score from a set piece. It's the second game in a row where we are scoring from set pieces. As the corner turned, as we turned a new leaf in terms of defending set piece, in terms of attacking set pieces. That will just give Natanake so much of confidence. Nathaniel does absolutely well. He's attacked that superbly. He's done superbly there. Erling Haaland didn't reach it, it hit the post. It hit the hand of nothing but its close proximity, so that's fine. JSK says in winter we need to sign a CDM. It hit the hand of Nathaniel, but that is extremely close proximity, so the goal is given 2-0 City. Is it Zubimendi JSK or do you have any other? Do you have any other name in mind? For me, I think it's Zubimendi as a release clause activated. Get him. That's it. No fuss. Absolutely no fuss done. JS is Zubimendi only. Exactly. Release clause activated and I mean, why was the goal cancelled? Why was the bloody goal cancelled? I thought goal was given, and the referee also pointed this. I mean, I thought goal was given. Okay, handball it, okay, handball it. I thought it was, I mean, very close proximity and stuff, but I don't know. I don't know the rules anymore. On the scorecard, it's still telling tonal. Maybe it will take time to correct. I think maybe yeah. Then the scorecard will take time to correct, or we better score another goal. Ah, because that would have meant The second goal would have meant we could have watched this match a bit more in a relaxed manner because 1-0 you're whatever be the team you're playing against at 1-0, anything can happen. Yes, now it's in the computer as well. Inter drawing with young boys is very, very interesting. So Bayaji, who do you see as a title threat? Arsenal or Liverpool bigger title threat, and who do you want to lose on Sunday? Nathan Ake. And City get the ball back. It's Matthews Nunes driving forward with the ball. Matthews Nunes carrying the ball. He just his touches just let him down. To be honest, it's gonna be a long night, guys. 1-0, anything can happen. Absolutely anything can happen. Some interesting results going on there. RB Salzburg losing to Dynamo Zagreb 0-1. Enter Young Boys are still 0-0. Benfica losing to Feyenoord. Bayaji says if Gundo hadn't come back, whom would we have signed? I think it was Danny Olmo, Bayaji. Danny Olmo was the name that was all over. I think we would have signed Danny Olmo if Gundo wouldn't have come back. Yes, he went to Barca eventually, but then we would have signed Danny Olmo. I'm sure we would have signed Danny Olmo because that is the name. I mean, there would have been other names in the shortlist, but Danny Olmo was the one. Danny Olmo was the name which was up there, and I think it was Danny Olmo. I mean, whatever it is, we would not have signed the cover for Rodri. That thing was clear because Pep clearly thought that Mateo Kovacic was ready to be the cover of Rodri, especially after that preseason. So we would have not signed a cover for Rodri to be honest, and I think it is Danny Olmo. That is the only name I can think of whom we would have signed. Bernardo Silva, stinker after stinker. Bernardo Silva giving the ball away. When is the last time you saw Bernardo Silva on the edge of the box giving the ball away straight to the opponent team, and the opponent team is straight away on the counter attack? Phil Foden, Phil Foden on the outside. I think this game, I don't know if Jeremy Doku is on the substitutes bench or not, but that's an excellent ball. Phil Foden, Bernardo Silva couldn't do anything with it. That's extremely well defended. It's another set piece for City, and this time it's Phil Foden taking an in swinging corner. Again, it's a good set piece, better than the crap that we were taking before. Erling Haaland almost got to that, but Matthews Nunes recovers it, and Ikai Gundogan to Savinho. Akanji out wide to Matthews Nunes. Matthews put a ball into the box. John Stones, Rico Lewis. Absolutely zero penetration, guys. Absolutely zero penetration. Rico Lewis does extremely well. Rico Lewis travels with the ball, and the tempo is definitely up. The speed of passing and the tempo is definitely up, but absolutely no penetration at all from City there. Phil Foden, Mathis Nunes. What a save by the keeper. Erling Haaland के नाम पे आज तो गोल लिखा नहीं है. What a save by the keeper there. Haaland should have had a hat trick today. Fantastic from Erling Haaland. Three headers today, and all the three headers saved. At least we are giving service to Erling Haaland today. Sparta Praha are actually happy with the 1-0, to be honest. Bajaj's keeper has saved two headers by Erling. Actually, three headers by Ajit, two in the first half. But yeah, you're right. He's made two world class saves. He's made two world class saves on another day. I don't know why keepers always turn into prime Cassius against City. वो Wolves का keeper भी he was same, right? Jose Sa, he turned him to prime Iker Cassius. Savinho does extremely well there. And Erling Haaland scores. You just look at the face of Erling Haaland. Look at his expression after he scored the goal. He couldn't believe that the keeper didn't save that. What a finish from Erling Haaland that was. Just look at the finish from Erling Haaland. That was a world class finish from Erling Haaland. Just look at it. Pep is still not happy. The ball in was from Savinho. The ball in was nothing special to be honest, but the finish was extremely special. It was Savinho with the ball in. Just look at that finish. That is a world class finish. I do not think any striker in the world can finish like that. What was that finish? What was that finish, guys, from Erling Haaland? What was that finish from Erling Haaland? Well, Barcelona are absolutely thrashing Bayern Munich. It's 4-1. Wow. The ball in was fantastic. Now I think City can keep the foot on the pedal. By just his Shaolin soccer goal. I think he's done a similar one against Dortmund, I think, right? 2 years back when Joao Cancelo put in that cross. Again, that finish is extraordinary. That's why he's the best striker in the world. Sparta Praha make a substitution, but what is happening there? Fine. 3-0 up against Benfica. Barcelona 4-1 against Bayern Munich. I think Barcelona are going for revenge, right? Because Barcelona, I think, were thrashed by Bayern Munich, what, 7-1 or something, right? By 7 or 8 goals. I think 2 3 years back in UCL. Maybe they're going for the revenge. JSK's Rafinha hat trick. What the F? There were rumors actually this entire week. JSK, there were rumors linking Rafinha to us because it seems like Barcelona are all in on Nico Williams, and so I think they'll sell Rafinha next season, and there are a lot of rumors linking Rafinha to us. But again, with Rafinha is someone who blows hot and cold, if you ask me. Rafinha is not consistent enough, but Phil Foden, Manuel Akanji. I just want that Liverpool Leipzig game to be a draw, to be honest. Can't stand Liverpool winning, not even once. Manuel Akanji, John Stones, Matthews Nunes, and that's gone out for a throw in. I mean, I want to see James McAtee in as quickly as possible now. 2-0. We are not going to give up a two goal lead, especially in this match. Arsenal, by the way, are just looking terrible. After that match from us, after that match with us, where they were, like showing off and everything, their injuries are just something else. Timber's injured, White's injured, now Calafiori suffered an injury. After that match with us, they were ruined. We absolutely ruined Arsenal, both physically and mentally. Rico Lewis, that is wonderful. Phil Foden, Bernardo Silva, a goal for Benfica. Feyenoord has been chopped off, so it's 2-0 Feyenoord Benfica. Matheus Nunes, JSK says 4 minus 1 into 2 is equal to 8 minus 2. To be honest, JSK didn't understand the calculation, but I'll try to be honest. I know you're actually referring to to the Barcelona Bayern Munich games that UCL where Bayern thrashed Barca and now. But I suspect there are more goals in that game, to be honest. And City score again! City score again, just missed it. And Johnny Stones! Just get Johnny Stones has scored. Johnny Stones is on a hot streak of goal scoring form. It's already his third goal of the season. Johnny Stones has scored in consecutive matches. Johnny Stones. Wow. What is it with John Stones? John the striker Stones. Wow. Look at John Stones. Was he offside? No, he was onside. And look at the header from John Stones. And the cross was from Matthews Nunes. What a cross from Matthews Nunes. And look at the header. That is a wonderful header. The goalkeeper couldn't do anything and he was watching it. Jesus, that score, not math. Understood. Now I understood. Yeah. But it was for the Bayern Munich Barcelona games, right? Interesting, very interesting. Atletico Madrid Lille is 1-1 now. Atletico Madrid Lille is 1-1. I think we have a match against Lille as well, if I'm actually not wrong. Now we are on another counter attack. Savinho has to. I mean, Savinho. Savinho still retains the ball. The attack is still on. Matthews Nunes cut on the inside and hit it. Matthews. The cross from Nunes was just fantastic. भैया जैसे स्टोन्स नाम सुनकर पत्थर समझे क्या डायमंड है अपन का मैन सिटी का हीरा है जॉनी स्टोन्स बहुत ही महंगा पत्थर है which is nothing but हीरा डायमंड जॉनी स्टोन्स and लोग बोल रहे गैब्रियल कैलिफ्यूरी विलियम सलीबा Arsenal fans compare कर रहे थे Gabriel, the best goal scoring defender in the world. Who is the best goal scoring defender in the world? Johnny Stones has shown you right now. Wow. And just look at the goals which Johnny Stones has got against Arsenal. He's got a point. Against Wolves, he's got 2 points. तो जॉनी स्टोन्स ने अकेला ही एक पूरा मैच जिता दिया 3 points. And also John Stones got that equalizing goal against Arsenal, a direct title rival. So in fact that single goal alone was worth 3 points if you ask me, because you made Arsenal get 2 points less. Rico Lewis, what a way to receive the ball. Phil Foden driving with the ball. And Erling Haaland gets it. And Erling Haaland scores. What a goal! Ah! This is a wonderful goal from City. This is trademark City. This is Manchester City at their absolute best. This is Pep Guardiola. And Juan Malilo written all over it. The way they progressed the ball, the way they went through, and the way Erling Haaland finished it. Wow, what a goal! The way they cut through it. This is what City is all about. This is fantastic from City. This is a dream ball. This is fantastic. This is absolutely superb there. Wow, क्या goal था. Wow. And look at the finish as well. The finish with his weaker foot. If I'm not wrong, he finished it with his weaker foot as well. He shifted it onto his weaker foot, the right foot, and finished it. Wow. But the way Rico Lewis traveled with the ball, Rico Lewis, Phil Foden, Nunes, Haaland. This is what Pep Guardiola would have made them practice the entire week. Wow, क्या goal था, मजा आ गया देख के. There are few goals. You see them and they're like, wow. You just want to stand up and salute them. This is fantastic. This has 2 assists by Nunes for Erling Haaland. Now Gundogan, Bernardo Silva gone. This is interesting, guys. Gundogan, Bernardo Silva gone. James McCarthy and Kovacic are in there, which actually means that, does it mean McCarthy plays in the midfield, or does it mean McCarthy goes out wide? Let us actually see. No, I think he's playing with both Foden and James McCarthy in the midfield. So the midfield is Kovacic, McCarthy, and Foden. This is going to be interesting. This will be a great watch next 20 minutes, because McAtee, Foden in the midfield, which means two attacking midfielders, and Kovacic. And I mean, this is what actually we were talking about, right? JSK wanted this to play McAtee in place of Bernardo Silva because Bernardo and Gundogan both have been very passive. Let's see how let's see how it will be now. Orbayaji, two assists by Nunes for Erling Haaland. I mean, what a game changer Nunes has been against Wolves. Wolves were on the attack. I thought Wolves were, I think, 4v3 outnumbered us. And he made a fantastic tackle to receive the ball. And he made a fantastic tackle to retrieve the ball. Ran all, ran all through up the pitch, and then hit a shot which resulted in the corner, and then corner, and John Stones scored. So Matthews Nunes was responsible in that Wolves match for getting us all 3 points as much as John Stones. Because without his actions, we wouldn't have gotten it. And this match as well, Nunes has been fantastic. Two assists. Nunes is certainly knocking on the door. Matthews Nunes again, look at it. Very extremely disciplined there, Matthews Nunes. Natanake holding the width, Nunes, Kovacic, Savinho. Savinho's not had a good game. It just seems his first season, so I'll excuse him for that because greats like Mahrez have struggled. But Slava Praha on the counter attack, but John Stones just looks like he's in a fantastic place. He's in a fantastic frame of mind, to be honest, John Stones. Look at his anticipation of play, defensive play, his anticipation of reading everything. I don't know why I feel this, but I think Stones is more secure when he has a Kenji beside him than a Ruben Diaz. I don't know if it's because of the lack of pace of Ruben Diaz or something like that, but I feel Stones is more secure. Stones looks more secure beside a Nathan Ake or Manuel Akanji than a Ruben Diaz. Don't know the reason to be honest, but yeah. Manuel Akanji, James McAtee is just playing back. Please attack. No, McAtee is in there. Interesting. Benfica has pulled one back against Feyenoord. It was 3-0 Feyenoord, and then a goal was chopped off. Now it's Benfica 1, Feyenoord 2. The other interesting result is Inter drawing 0-0 against Young Boys. What a finish from Erling Haaland. They're showing that. The ball it is a decent ball, nothing world class. Haaland made it into a world class ball. All the strikers in the world would have headed it. It's just Erling Haaland who's done the Shaolin kick on that, to be honest. I would love to see Nico O'Reilly. I know Kovacic came on as a DM, but I would have loved to see Nico O'Reilly come in as a DM, to be honest. Ake gone, Ruben Diaz coming on, which means Akanji is maybe gonna move to the left back position. Stones is coming off as well. Yasko Guardiola is coming on. Yes, I think slowly we are getting players back into that belief and all of those things. John Stones looks so good today. Even confident in his defensive work. Savio, Kovacic does well there. Kovacic couldn't find Erling Haaland. Final pass. I think we can get two more here. We can get two more goals and just cover up and just bump in on that goal difference. We can give Erling Haaland another hat trick in the Champions League, and then we could actually bump up the goal difference. James McAtee, what a ball by James McAtee. Matheus Nunes, good defending, but James McAtee again forward looking. I think to break the low blocks, we need these kind of players because both Bernardo and Gundogan they're just too much passive. I think playing both of them in the midfield is just a recipe for disaster. JSK's Mickey Van der Veen will be the perfect counter for pacey wingers. Guy is wasting his potential in Spurs. That is true. That is true, JSK. I mean, there are a couple of Spurs players which I actually think we could have bought. Pedro Porro. I don't know why we. Pedro Porro was our player. We had the right to refusal on him. 40 million pounds. I don't know why we didn't take Pedro Porro there for that right back position because Pedro Porro is an excellent set piece taker. His deliveries are very very good. Generally, even from open play, Pedro Porro's deliveries are very good. He's quick as well. Erling Haaland gets the ball. It's a counter attack. It's a 3v3 at the back. It's a 3v3 at the back. Savinho goes in. Savinho there retains the ball. Ah, the defender did well. Sparta Praha defender did well to cover it, but City are having the ball still. Phil Foden, Kovacic. I mean, more than Vicky Van de Ven, just Pedro Porro one hurts me because we had the player, he was our player. We had the first right of refusal on him. I mean, we had a buyback clause on him. I mean, just don't know why we didn't utilize that. He's the perfect Pep Guardiola player as well. Pedro Porro can play on the inside, can play on the outside, has excellent physicality, pace, wonderful set piece taker, like I said. He had everything. JSK says his attitude is bad. Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Okay, City do check on the attitude. I didn't know that. Bayaji says Nunes could play back heel. I mean, the dilemma is Erling Haaland there, Phil Foden, Rico Lewis. That's not a foul on Phil Foden, but the dilemma is how do you play Matheus Nunes in this team? Where do you play him? James McAtee, a great looking ball there. But where do you play Matheus Nunes? Because on the wing, there's Doku, there is Grealish. In the midfield, clearly Pep doesn't trust him. So I don't know. Because Nunes, two assists here. He had an equal part as John Stones in that Wolves win. And in that 5 minutes that he was on the pitch in that Wolves game, Nunes changed it for us completely. So Nunes is slowly starting to, you know, bash on the door very very hard. So I don't know how do you play Matheus Nunes consistently. JSK says Van de Ven can be perfect replacement of Walker. Guy is even faster than Walker. We could. Nico O'Reilly is coming on. This is interesting. Nico O'Reilly is coming on. Pep is giving him 12 minutes today. Nico O'Reilly is coming on. Sparta Praha on the outside. Keep a clean sheet today, guys. Keep a clean sheet today. Kovacic, wonderful from Kovacic. James McAtee on the ball. Matheus Nunes. Nunes go on the inside and hit it. Go on the inside and hit it. Kovacic, Rico Lewis, Erling Haaland. Ah, just a whisker wide. I don't know Haaland meant to shoot or cross it, but James McAtee was almost in there making that one. You're right, JSK. We can buy Van der Ven from Spurs and turn him into a right back. And also he's absolutely very good on the ball as well. Mickey Van der Ven, he loves to drive forward with the ball and he's good at his delivery is also decent into the box. So that would be an interesting signing as a backup for Walker. But as you know, negotiating with Spurs is very tricky. Haaland gone and Nico Riley on. Now something interesting has happened. Atletico Madrid were leading 1-0 at their home. It's Atletico Madrid versus Lille. And now Lille has made a comeback and Lille is leading Atletico Madrid 2-1. Guys, that Atletico Madrid game is just blowing up. Atletico Madrid at home is losing 2-1 to Lille. And by the way, Lille in the previous round, the previous game week has already defeated Real Madrid 1-0. Now Lille is almost close to defeating Atletico Madrid. Lille is just destroying Lille is just destroying the Spanish top flight. Lille is just destroying La Liga, if you ask me. Lille is absolutely destroying La Liga. Stefan Ortega, I mean, I don't know what's it with Stefan Ortega, but whenever he's there, you inevitably get a clean sheet. At least you don't concede goals from open play. Very interesting with the Lille match. Lille 2, Atletico Madrid 1. Slava Praha is attacking and Josko Guardiola. That is their Phil Foden and Matthews New and Nico Riley through on goal. Nico Riley there was through on goal. The goalkeeper at the last moment came, but Nico Riley was through on goal. What a ball there from James McAtee. Nico Riley was absolutely through on goal. Just imagine Nico Riley scoring. That would have been fantastic. Phil Foden, Josko Guardiola, Pep Guardiola is sitting on the drinks box, the Gatorade drinks box. Pep Guardiola today has just shown so many sides of him. Extremely frustrated at half time. Now he's cool and relaxed and sitting on that Gatorade drink box. I just want the Leipzig Liverpool match to go on and be 1-1. That will be interesting. But Josko Guardiola, Mateo Kovacic, Nico O'Reilly's, I mean, making some fantastic forward runs, to be honest. And Kovacic has received the ball and the referee doesn't break the play. And Savinho is just trying too hard, guys. He just reminds me of Riyad Mahrez, to be honest. when Mahrez came on and struggled the first 1.5 seasons. City are almost playing with a back three now, to be honest, with Matthew Kovacic holding and Nico O'Reilly playing as a striker. It's a false nine. City are playing a false nine, to be honest. James McAtee, Nico O'Reilly, everyone taking turns to make runs. Sparta Praha do not know whom to mark. Ruben Diaz, Nick, Rico Lewis does extremely well to keep hold of the ball. How did he keep hold of the ball in such a tight space, to be honest? Ruben Diaz, James McAdee does well. Matthews Nunes gets the ball. Wonderful skill from Matthews Nunes. And that's a penalty. Nunes been pushed onto the ground, and that's a penalty for City. The question is, Erling Haaland sitting there on the bench and thinking, I would have completed my hat trick. Who takes it? That is the question. Who takes the penalty? That is the question now. That was not a push, but a bad tackle on Matthews Nunes there. That's a penalty. Who takes it? Does Matthews Nunes take it? Does Phil Foden take the penalty? Who takes it? Does Josko Guardiola take it? Does Savinho take it? It's Matthews Nunes who's taking the penalty. He's won the penalty and is taking it. Since there's no designated penalty taker on the field, I think maybe that's what they've agreed. Matthews Nunes takes the penalty. I hope he hits it well. He deserves he deserves it. Two assists. Let it not ruin his day. And what a strike! What a penalty that is! He's just hit it into the top corner. Pep Guardiola is applauding, and look at the pride in the eyes of Pep Guardiola there. Look at the absolute pride in the eyes of Pep Guardiola as Pep Guardiola is applauding that. That is fantastic from Matthews Nunes. That penalty is superb. No chance for the goalkeeper with that penalty. Just look at that penalty. That penalty is just unstoppable. It's right into the corner. That is a superb penalty, I would say. No goalkeeper in the world is saving that. What a strike that is from Matthews Nunes. That's a wonderful strike from Matthews Nunes there. 5-0. One more goal and our goal difference will just be somewhere else. So 5-0 City, and what a goal from Matthews Nunes. So two assists and a goal. What a performance from Matthews Nunes. Matthews Nunes is just tired himself up and has put himself in contention for that spot. There's a new competitor for the left wing spot and is putting forward his case very. firmly. City just rusting on the ball now, and again, Lille Atletico Madrid is the result of the round. I think Lille has defeated Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid. Wow, that too coming back from 1-0 down is just something else. Can we have one more attack? Can James McAtee get one more goal? It's just 2 minutes of added time. Bayaji says Bob missing out all the fun. Oscar Bob would have been immense for us. Bayaji, I think if Oscar Bob would have been there, we would have won that Arsenal game. Especially after going down to 10 men and stuff. Especially after Arsenal went down to 10 men and stuff. And we would have won the Newcastle game as well if Bob was there. I think Bob would have made so much more of a difference. His crossing is absolutely superb. His weak foot is very, very good, which makes a lot of difference. Can we have one more goal? That's a free kick for City, and I think that should be that. But Lille Atletico Madrid is just superb, and Inter young boys as well. Nil, you ask me. But Bayaji, how do you start Matheus Nunes? Two assists and a goal, and he's won the penalty himself as well. So there is a three assists and a goal. So two assists and a goal, and how do you? I mean, you can't drop him now. You have to start in the next game. How do you start him? Do you start him on the left wing or do you give him a chance in the midfield? That is the big question mark. If you start him on the left wing, this is wonderful from James McAtee. What a wonderful run from James McAtee. He's going himself there, but James McAtee was superb there in that one. That was like running through a maze. This player is just superb, James McAtee, and City complete the job here at the Etihad Stadium 5-0. 5-0, and it was so well needed, especially when we were looking so lethargic in attack. Even the first half was one of the worst first half I've seen in a long, long time in terms of attacking, and we were so lethargic and everything in that first half. But the second half was just scintillating, especially that Haaland goal. I mean the Shaolin kick, it just sparked everyone to life, and then and then the counter attack where it was Rico Lewis to Foden, Foden to Nunes, Nunes to Haaland, goal. I think that just sparked everything up. That has just risen the entire morale in the team. Bayaji's last game cameo was morale boosting for Nunes. I mean, along with John Stones, literally Bayaji. Without Matthews Nunes, maybe Wolves would have scored the second or it would have ended 1-1. Matthews Nunes in that Wolves game just came in and he just introduced a burst of energy, winning the tackle, running onto the other end, testing the keeper. In the space of a minute, City suddenly believed that we could win this match. Because without Nunes, that match we would have dropped 2 more points there. Inter score at the very end. This is interesting. 1-0 Inter. That would be disappointing for young boys. And Lille Atletico Madrid is 3-1. Lille lead Atletico Madrid 3-1. La Liga. they're defeating the two best clubs in La Liga. Madrid and Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid. I don't know who the manager of Lille is, but yeah, where do you play Grealish and Doku there? Then if you're starting Matthews Nunes on a regular basis, big question mark. But just on the basis of the performance, I maybe think you Nunes deserve to start. And I know this is a very long shot, but I really hope that Nunes playing well on the left wing will spark Pep Guardiola's mind, and Pep Guardiola might want to try Jack Grealish in the midfield. because I think clearly Gundogan Bernardo Silva is not working as a combination in the midfield. I think Kovacic, Jack Grealish, and Phil Foden. How worst can it be? And Jack Grealish, we know, is inventive and is press resistant as well. I think this midfield could be even more dynamic if you ask me. And Jack Grealish work rate is also very very good. So I just hope Pep Guardiola thinks about it and puts Jack Grealish maybe into the midfield, for example. Because of the Nunes, he was just superb on the left wing. Bayaji says Lille 3, Atletico Madrid 1, और वो भी home पे Bayaji. It, it's at Atletico Madrid's home. Lille has already got two scalps, and I think we also play Lille. That will be very very interesting when we play Lille. So a game where we did extremely well, but I think it's a game that has thrown more questions than answers if you ask me. Yes, we won final, but the questions are how do you put Matthews Nunes into the team permanently? Because after this performance, if he doesn't come into the team permanently, then I don't know what he should do to come. And how do you sort out the Gundogan and Bernardo Silva issue? And how long? I mean, I know you need to trust Savinho, but what do you do? Do you actually play Doku on the right now and give Savinho a break? Because clearly Savinho is just trying too much. And Savinho, believe me, is a world class player. He is the best one-on-one dribbler after Vinicius Junior in the world. It's just that Savinho is still settling into the City team. That's why is looking like that. But Savinho himself carried Girona to third place last season. Played a big part. So you can see how big of a player Savinho is. It's just a matter of time for Savinho. And then the defense as well. I think today Stones Akanji looked more stable than having Ruben Diaz. So what do you do with that? The right back thing. I think he's gonna rotate between Rico Lewis and Manuel Akanji in the right back position. To be honest, and he's gonna rotate between Ake Stones and Ruben Diaz in the centre back position, and Ake Guardiola in the left back position. So now with Ake coming, suddenly you have more options in defense. Even the Walker's gone out, so I somehow sense that it's I somehow sense that it's we are going towards good times in the season in the coming months, because from August to till now it's almost late October. We were not good. Late August to this late October we were not good. We somehow scrapped the results, but our style has not been good. Our gameplay has not been good. Losing Rodri and all, I know, but yeah, slowly it just feels that we are getting back onto the right track. It just seems it just is filling me with confidence, especially what Nunes has done. What Nunes and Stones have done is single-handedly filling me with confidence, and also the balls is giving into the box. Nunes gave two assists to Erling Haaland. Could this be the combination in the absence of KDB? Now just imagine you put KDB into this team, then that itself raises a lot of dilemmas, but that's an interesting prospect which you could explore. And also James McAtee for me, Kovacic, McAtee and Foden looked very good. James McAtee looked very bright in those tight spaces. So how do you play James McAtee more in the team? He deserves to get more minutes. So again, we won final, but still questions are coming for Pep Guardiola to solve, and that's often good. Which means Pep Guardiola will have to create systems to solve these things. I mean, sometimes I think ditch these wingers and play a 4-4-2 diamond, for example, which will solve your midfield issues as well. Foden at the tip of the diamond, assuming KDB is injured. Foden at the tip of the diamond. Kovacic at the other tip of the diamond as a DM, and then you can play maybe both Gundo, Bernardo Silva in there for more stability. or even Gundo Nunes in there, 4-4-2, and then the two could be Haaland and Savinho, Haaland Doku. That actually could be an interesting proposition if you ask me, but it's actually interesting. A great game, a fantastic game, I would say. First half was not good, but City recovered, and the second half was just superb. See you all, guys, and again, thanks JSK, thanks Bayaji, and thanks Count India for joining me. As always, it's been a pleasure chatting with you guys.